happy spooky season. My name is Lindsay and welcome to my new channel. This is the first video of my new channel and I'm very excited to get this ball rolling with you guys. As you guys can see behind me, I am currently in my dorm room at my college, which is located in Texas, so the weather hasn't quite cooled down quite yet. We are getting there, hopefully. Texas weather, I swear, is the weirdest thing. It will be like, so it was super cold like yesterday, like in the 50s, and now it's like back in the 80s, and I really want to wear my sweaters, but thanks, Texas. So I bought a lot of books. I was really inspired by the month. I was really in the mood to read a lot more like spookier reads and whatnot. A lot more like witchy themed books, and so I kind of went on a buying spree as you do, and so I have a lot of brand new books to show you guys today in this little book haul, the first book haul of the channel, first video of the channel. Yeah. Anyway, so I have a couple of books that are more spooky themed. I have a couple of books that are more like witchy-esque themed, and then I have some books that I just randomly, acquired over the past few days. So let's get into it. I should have my books closer, like climbing over my bed. Alright, the first book I have to show you guys today was actually my September book of the month pick, and that is Other Birds by Sarah Addison Allen. This book is magical realism, and it focuses on Zoe as she moves into her late mother's apartment on this island called Mallow Island. And she moves into this apartment complex called the Delawisp, which where she meets all these eccentric different characters, as well as these little tiny birds, which the Delawisp is named after, that live within the apartment complex. And so as she is gaining this newfound family that she has found, she is interacting, there's all these like ghosts that are haunting the place. And it's just a really sweet kind of curl up with the blanket and read on a rainy day sort of book. I've already read this book, but I really enjoyed it and I was really happy with my book of the month pick. Alright, the next book I have to show you is also a book of the month book. And this was my October pick, and that book is Sign Here by Claudia Look. I have also taken the time and read this book, and I also very thoroughly enjoyed it. But this book follows two different storylines. It follows one of the character Peyote, and he literally works in hell. He works in hell is this like corporate kind of situation, and his job is he has to sign people these deals to sell their soul. And Peyote throughout this book is trying to get many different deals, and that's kind of that point of conflict for Peyote. He's trying to get deals, but he also has an ulterior motive of why he wants to get these deals signed. The other storyline that we follow is one of this dysfunctional family that has a little bit of a secrecy behind their little lake family trip. They have this lake house which they go, and young Mickey, a teenager who meets this brand new friend, brings her friend to this lake house, and chaos ensues as these mysteries of this family become undug. The two storylines eventually cross, and it is a very good book. It's really hilarious. It's a dark comedy kind of situation, and I 100% recommend, and I'm really glad that I got this for my book of the month. So the next two books kind of go into my other, the next two books kind of relate to my other brain cell when I'm not just looking at like, your normal books. I am a huge Star Wars fan and a very big fan of the Star Wars literature that is printed. And so I have two books. One is just one to like add to my collection, and another one is one that has recently come out. But starting with the first one, this book is actually technically an audio drama, and that is Tempest Runner by Cavan Scott. Like I said, this book is really an audio drama. So this is the actual like printed script of the book. And Tempest Runner, I think this came out, the printed book came out, I want to say like in February, and usually I'm good about buying my Star Wars books as they come out, but this one I have been kind of like lax on. This book is actually one of the books part of the High Republic series, which is a huge publishing project by Lucas Books. And essentially, the High Republic takes place hundreds of years before the Phantom Menace, and we get to see this brand new golden age of the Jedi. This book is in the middle of the first phase of books that came out within this publishing project. And so I have actually been holding off reading the last like 2 books of that phase. It was like the adult book and then the YA book that I'm holding off, because I wanted to read this because chronologically this comes before those. And then I want to jump into phase 2, which just came out, which is actually book number 2 of my Star Wars list that I have to show you today, and that is The Path of Deceit by Tessa Gratton and Justina Ireland. Like I said, the High Republic publishing project is in phases, and so within the phases there are multiple books in multiple waves. So the first phase had 3 different waves, and there were 3 adult books, 3 YA books, 3 middle grade books, and a bunch of comics and other like stuff. And so this is the first book of the second phase, which takes place before the first phase. I'm a little confused on it. We'll see how it works out. And so this is the only one that is currently out right now. And just look at the blue. I'm really excited. All of the other High Republic books have been gold, and so I think this blue, I mean, this is just a fun blue in general, and like a fun cover. I don't necessarily know what this book is about. I'm looking forward to finding out, and I need to finish some other books before I get to this book, but maybe that will reveal what this is about. I kind of doubt it though, because this book takes place like, I think like 100 years in advance of like the High Republic that already exists. Oh. Okay, there's some last names I recognize. We'll see. Alright, let's get into more spookier reads. The next book I have to show you guys today is There's Someone Inside Your House by Stephanie Perkins. This book follows the story of Makani Young, who has just moved into this small town, Nebraskan town. She is trying to finish off high school, and suddenly a bunch of the students at her high school are dying these gruesome deaths. There's love in this story, there's a serial killer, thriller, on the edge of your seatness in this story. And so as like this body count is growing, Makani is trying to figure out who is the murderer and what does the murderer necessarily want? What is the motive behind these murders? I know this is an older book, I don't know when this came out. Stephanie Perkins is the person who wrote the Anna and the French Kiss series, which I love. I don't remember when I read that. That was so long ago when I read that series. Like that was like middle school Lindsay read. And so I'm really looking forward to reading another book by Stephanie Perkins because I really enjoyed her romance writing. So now let's see what this will be about. The next book I have to show you guys is another thriller, and that is We'll Never Be Apart by Emiko Jean. And this, to be quite honest, I don't know what this book is about. Murder, fire, revenge. Okay. That's all the 17-year-old Elise Monroe thinks about. Locked on a mental ward at Savage Isle, Elise is haunted by memories of the fire that killed her boyfriend, Jason. Ablaze, her deranged and jealous sister, Kelly, set... Ooh. Well, when whispers from other mental patients convince Alice that Kelly has been committed to Savage Isle, convince Alice... I can't read. Alice vows to avenge the life of the boy she loved. Aided by Chase, a mysterious, charismatic new patient, Alice stealthily combs Savage Isle for her sister by night, while by day she plays the good girl, attending group therapy sessions and writing the story of her troubled past in foster care, a past she barely understands in a journal. But nothing at Savage Isle is what it seems, and no one will leave the same. Damn. So that sounds pretty creepy. I like have a love-hate relationship with like hospital, like psycho ward kind of like themed settings. Like a part of me, it's like, oh, it gives me such a good chill, but another part of me, it like freaks me out on a different level. So we'll see if we enjoy this book. I think it sounds fun. I love a good like thrillery kind of thing, so I hope this will not disappoint. The next book I have to show you guys is actually a type of book I've never really like experimented in. And I don't even know if it's like the type of book. It's just like the theme of the book. I've never really read a book like that. And so the book is Rot and Ruin by Jonathan Mayberry. And what I'm referring to is I've never read like a zombie book before. And like for something like a zombie apocalypse being such like a classic thing, like I feel like I should have read something with zombies before, but I haven't. And so Rot and Ruin, I guess, will be my first one. This is the first book in what I think is like a 3-part series. I don't remember from when I bought this how many. Well, that like says 1. They're advertising on the back. But what this is in a zombie-infested post-apocalyptic type world. And Benny has grown up within this world, but when they turn 15, they have to work unless they will lose their food rations that they receive. Benny's family business is actually a zombie killing business, but he's not necessarily interested in carrying on the family business, but reluctantly he joins his brother as an apprentice to learn how to fight these and kill these zombies. Throughout this training of becoming a zombie killer, Benny learns a lot about himself, but he also learns a lot about like the morality of killing other zombies. And so there's kind of like this ethic confusion that he experiences as he is trying to understand what it really means to take on this job. I think this is cool. It's like a coming of age story, trying to figure out what it means to be a teenager story mixed with a zombie apocalypse. That sounds like fun. And so I think I'm gonna really enjoy this book. One of my favorite tropes is like a student learning, like apprentice type learning trope. It's probably why I like Star Wars so much. But I think this is gonna check a lot of the boxes that I enjoy in seeing in a book, and hopefully I will read the rest of the series if I like this one. The next book I have to show you today is another book to add to my rom-com shelf, and that is Witchful Thinking by Celestine Martin. Once again, I don't necessarily know what this one's about. I was looking at all the rom-com like books that were like advertised at my local bookstore, and then this one was like just sitting there. I was like, it's just such a cute cover, and it's yellow. I have a stack of books here with me at college, but then my bookshelf at home. I'm planning to reorganize it, and I want to go by like rainbow colors, and so a lot of like the books that I'm like looking to buy, I'm buying by just the spine color, and like that's yellow. But yeah, Witchful Thinking. Quick read. Okay, Lucinda Carraway loves living in Freya Grove, the mystic seaside town where charms, hexes, and magical beings of all kinds are the norm. She spends her day teaching high school history and her nights reading tea leaves and tending to her conjured garden. Isn't that the dream? It's a good life, but she can't stop wishing for more until one night that wish turns into a spell, and suddenly Lucy can't say no. Not to a public karaoke performance, not to running a 10K, and most alarmingly, not to her high school crush, Alexander Dwyer, who needs her help unjinxing his new house, which just happens to be right across the street from hers. Alex has spent the last 10 years traveling the world on adventures Lucy has only ever dreamed of, and he's planning to leave again as soon as his house is safe to sell. No. But until Lucy can unhex herself, she and Alex are stuck together, and with so much magic in the air, maybe the next spell Lucy casts will be the one that convinces him to stay. That sounds so cute. A match made in magic. Sorry, I'm like, that is so cute. I think this is gonna be a super fun read. I think I'm gonna eat this right up. Who doesn't want to read about like a witchy cast a spell on you sort of romance? Because I do. The next book I have to show you guys today I think is also part of a series, but I only bought the first book, and that is The Madman's Daughter by Megan Shepherd. This book follows 16-year-old Juliette Moreau as she's trying to live her most normal life as she can in London, which she's struggling to do after her father has been accused of performing these gruesome experiments. And while no one has been able to prove them, I mean, she still has that to deal with. As things get tougher, she realizes that those accusations that her father has experienced. As the accusations grow, she actually finds out that her father's experiments are quite gruesome, and a little bit more gruesome than she has thought previously. She falls in love with her father's handsome young assistant, and together they try and figure out the depths of her father's madness and a way to stop the madness. I think this is going to be a lot of fun. It's giving me vibes of the Stalking Jack the Ripper series, which I know like is nothing like what I just kind of described, but I feel like the vibes of like the time period and the handsome young assistant and finding some deranged experimental plot to thwart. I don't know. And I really love the Jack the Ripper series, so I think this is gonna be a fun read for me. They're stacking up. The next book I have to show you all is A Lesson in Vengeance by Victoria Lee. In this book, we follow Felicity Morrow as she makes her way back to the Dalloway School. This school is like an old school, and it is also the school where her girlfriend has previously died. This school is said to be haunted by a lot of these ghosts, and all the ghosts, the rumors are that these ghosts were witches. When Felicity meets with Ellis Haley, who is this upstart young novelist, Ellis wants to write a story about the ghosts and the witches of Dalloway, nicknamed the Dalloway Five, for the 5 witches that have apparently died in this one room. Felicity cannot say no, and together they realize that the history might repeat itself again. I've been in such a witchy mood, which you can kind of see by especially the next couple of books I'm going to be showing you guys. I am super duper excited to delve into this world. There's nothing more fall-like to me than wrapping up with a book about like some spooky old school. It's definitely that dark academia vibe. So I'm excited for this. I also bought this book used, and so I have like the QR code sticker because I haven't been able to get it off, but hopefully soon. The next book I have to show you all is A Wicked Magic by Sasha Lawrence. In this book, we follow a friend group of 2 girls, Daniela. In this book, we follow Daniela and Liz, 2 best friends, as they decide to turn themselves into witches. However, they realize that the magic they have dealt with is magic that has a mind of its own, and this magic takes form in a dark magic type of way, and it starts cursing people, starts taking people out, and it is up to Daniela and Liz to figure out how to cure this wicked magic that they have stumbled upon. I think this is gonna be a super cute book. The cover itself is so adorable. I can't say no to cats. Look at it. I think the accidental type of magic sort of trope is a super fun trope, and I am really excited about this. The next book I have to show you all is Wayward Witch by Zoraida Cordova. This is another book that I think has a really pretty cover. It says, "One little lie can destroy everything. Rose Mortis has always been a fixer, but lately she's been feeling lost. She has brand new powers she doesn't understand, and her family is still trying to figure out how to function in the wake of her music father's return home. Then on the night of her death day party, Rose discovers her father's memory loss has been a lie. As she rushes to his side, the 2 are ambushed and pulled through a portal to the land of Addis, the fairy realm. There, Rose is forced to work with a group of other powerful teens to save Addis. Soon, she begins to discover the scope of her powers, the troubling truth about her father's past, and the sacrifices he made to save her sisters. But if Rose wants to return home so she can repair her broken family, she must figure out how to heal Addis. I hope I was pronouncing that right. I feel like that's the worst part of trying to pronounce like weird names. The next book I have to show you guys is The Dark Descent of Elizabeth Frankenstein by Kirsten White. So shiny. This book follows Elizabeth, who is living in a very toxic environment with her caregiver until she finds the Frankenstein family. Mainly she finds Victor Frankenstein, who takes her in. And this is about her story and her interactions with the Frankenstein family. As time goes on, she realizes that Victor Frankenstein is also extremely toxic. Elizabeth has to stay with Victor, but she is really just trying to stay alive in this chaotic mad scientist world. I just read a Kirsten White book, and so I am super excited to read more of her novels, and so I'm really excited to read this one. The next book I have to show you guys is Blood Like Magic by Lizelle Sambury. Voya Thomas is a young witch who is having to pass a special trial that is required of being a witch, and she fails. However, her ancestors give her one more chance, except for that trial is that she has to kill her love. If she fails this trial and does not kill her first love, then it means everyone in her family will lose their magic. Voya has never actually been in love, and so with a program, she decides that she's going to try and fall in love, and it'll be super easy, and she'll save her family. However, what she didn't expect was to actually fall in love with the person she sets herself up with. This book follows the struggle between love versus family. I think this is going to be a super fun book, and I can't wait to read it. The last book I have to show you guys today is The Ravens by Cass Morgan and Danielle Page. This book follows a sorority of witches, which, I mean, that had me sold right. And this book follows the girls of the sorority. It follows the president, who really wants to be the best witch she can possibly be to follow in her family's footsteps. There's a person who doesn't even realize that they are a witch, and they pledge to be a part of this sorority and get in. In the end, besides just trying to grow as a sorority, something wicked is coming across campus, and it's up to them to save it. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching my first video. Please like this video, subscribe, comment below what your favorite spooky book is to read for this season. Oh my god, no. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next time.